boy. Thought you said the food in here was good.
Hello there, this is Stormdog, and today I'd like to talk to you about a movie you've never heard of. It's got an interesting story behind it, and by itself it's a fairly interesting movie even before I knew the story. The movie is called $1 Million Mystery from 1987. In some markets it was released as Money Mania, but the original title works much better, especially by the time you hear the end of the story. Our movie begins with a cast randomly assembling at a roadside diner in the desert. We have various archetypes here, including the owners of the diner, like a married couple with their middle school son who turns out to be the most reasonable person in the script, a wannabe rock star and his entourage of 3 girls, a newly married couple so newly married they have yet to seal the deal, a running joke throughout the movie, and last of all the owners, a brother and sister. A man pulls up, tries the chili, and dies. The TV, deus ex machina or plot device, or simply tells us that this man is a White House aide who has stolen millions of dollars. As he lies dying of a heart attack, he reveals he hid all the money near bridges. This crazy cast eagerly sets off to find this money when they realize the rich man's childhood home city nearby has a bridge. To this cast will soon be added a military nut who will join the brother and sister team, and a duo of professional wrestlers. Along the way, tracking them is a duo from the government eager to recover the money, and 2 police officers who try to arrest one group for reckless driving. Honestly, the plot is basically it's a mad world from 1963. The plot here, however, stays contained within the driving range of just a couple hours instead of all over America. This movie probably just did not have the budget to pull that off. The movie stays firmly rooted around the landmarks of the hometown of the dead rich man. The cast is also nowhere near as good. This almost felt like it could have been a made-for-TV knockoff. I know that doesn't put the movie in a good light, I just want you to be realistic about your expectations. All that being said, there are some really fun performances in here. Tom Bosley shows up as the rich man but quickly dies. There's a very specific reason he's in the movie, but I'll get to that later. Eddie Deason is probably the biggest name. You will immediately recognize his voice. He's done voice work for Mandark in Dexter's Lab, the obnoxious kid in Polar Express, Ned in Kim Possible, and shown up in SpongeBob and about a dozen other cartoons. He played in both the Grease movies and War Games. Most of the cast never really hit it big, and a lot of them you would recognize from TV throughout the 80s and 90s. They were billed in this movie as America's new comic talent. Kevin Pollak does play one of the police officers, and I just recently saw him in Ricochet. Like so many almost B-movies of this time, the car stunts are still extremely pleasing, with a lot of crazy jumps and crashes happening throughout the movie. It's such a palate cleanser compared to modern Hollywood where few stunts are done for real. The stunts have no right to be this good. This was the final film of stuntman Dar Robinson, who died during a motorcycle stunt in the film. He had also just completed work on Lethal Weapon around this time, and both films are dedicated to him. He did incredible stunt work on so many films, and I talked about his major role in the film Stick in another video. Interestingly enough, this was also the final film of accomplished director Richard Fleischer. I started looking through his work and was blown away to discover this guy directed Soylent Green, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Red Sonja, Fantastic Voyage, Mr. Majestic, Tora Tora Tora, Dr. Dolittle, The Vikings, and so many other worthwhile films all the way back to the 40s. What a way to end your career. Let me get to the big, interesting part of this film and its production. The movie was sponsored by Glad Trash Bags, and that contributed to Tom Bosley playing the rich man, as he was the spokesman for Glad at the time. Gladbags and De Laurentiis Entertainment, who partnered to produce and make the film, also set up a big publicity stunt with it. They co-sponsored a real-life million-dollar treasure hunt to coincide with this film's release. At the end of the movie, the cash is still missing, or at least part of it, and moviegoers were invited to find the location of the hidden stash using clues provided in the film. The sponsors also emphasized that the money wasn't physically hidden anywhere, lest anyone injure themselves or damage property while searching for the loot. The audience just had to guess where the money was hidden. Ticket buyers were even given game cards shaped like American currency with a big photo of Dino De Laurentiis where the present should be. The money turned out to be hidden in the bridge of the Statue of Liberty's nose. De Laurentiis said of the film, "This is a really broad comedy with car chases designed for the young major movie-going audience about 12 to 24 years old. The sweepstakes gives us the potential to reach even more people. The infrequent moviegoer, the person more interested in winning $1 million than in going to the movies. And these are the kind of people who use Gladbags, housewives who maybe go to the movies once or twice a year." In the end, it was a big disaster for the studio. The film was one of the major flops of the 1980s, barely grossing $1 million at the box office, which the studio wound up forking over to the contest winner, a woman in Bakersfield, California. The winner of the contest ended up being 14-year-old Alicia Lene Jones of said Bakersfield, California, who successfully guessed where the money was hidden in the bridge of the nose of the Statue of Liberty. Apparently, thousands of contestants had arrived at the exact same answer, and her entry was just chosen in a random drawing. $1 Million Mystery was such a box office flop, grossing $989,000, a little over, against a $10 million budget. The film was rightly ravaged by the Golden Raspberry Awards. All being said, I found it to be a fun little comedy with solid car stunts. I still found the dialogue and the zany situations to be funny. I couldn't find the film on any legitimate streaming site. The story behind it is just as crazy as the movie itself. Until next time, this has been Stormdog.